Welcome back to the Center in the City podcast. I'm your host, Wade Brill, and I am so glad you are here. In today's solo episode, we're exploring the theme of letting go. And this is the season. Fall officially kicks off next week, which invites change. It invites letting go. It invites the harvest. It invites slowing down, introspection, all the things that start to walk us mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually towards the winter energy of hibernation and going inwards. And I know fall is one of people's favorite seasons because of all of the holidays, because of the pumpkin flavors, because of the fall foliage, the delicious food that's present in the farmers markets, cozy sweater weather. Fall also is this critical point in the cycles and seasons of life, this letting go, this change that needs to happen in order for newness to be rebirthed. And I think in our society, we get so wrapped up into the new, the more. We want that energy, that kind of summer play, fun, loud. And we want that spring kind of blooming, new things happening, that stimulation. But our brains and our bodies only have capacity for so much. So we need this season, literal and figurative season of letting go, of decluttering, of releasing, so that we can make space for what we want to invite in. But we can't just keep inviting more shit into our life, because it oversaturates us and it becomes then debilitating. So today on the pod, we're going to talk about the science, the benefits of letting go, how we can actually practice letting go and be inspired by the season that we are stepping into to allow more of this letting go energy into our life. So wherever you are listening to this episode, whether you're on a walk, cooking, driving, commuting, I welcome you to settle in and let's get centered. So when you hear the words letting go, what comes up for you in your mind? How does your body respond? So take a moment to pause here with me and let these words land. Letting go. What do you need to let go of? When I feel these words, a few things happen. I notice this excitement to let go, like, oh yeah, I'm ready, because I know that letting go, once I'm on the other side, it feels so good. It feels more spacious. It feels clear. I feel lighter. And yet there's a part in my body, there's a part of my body that clenches. And it's part of that kind of controller overwhelm archetype. It's connected. And if you haven't taken the overwhelm archetype quiz, you can do that linked in the show notes, or head on over to wadebrill.com/quiz. And that relationship to stress, to overwhelm, it's a feeling, it's like an impulse inside of me that wants to control, that wants to hold on to, that wants to grip down for safety. And so I think I need to keep holding on for safety. But that is actually not the case. Because the more that I hold on, the more that I can feel myself staying frozen, like not evolving, not letting the natural cycles and seasons happening inside of my own system if I'm holding on. And I can also feel this stagnation, like I'm not growing because I'm holding on too tightly. There's no room for growth to happen. And maybe as you're listening, you can relate to something that I shared in my experience. Maybe for you, you feel this like, let go, baby. I'm ready. I'm ready just to drip this stuff off of me, just like I see the trees shedding their leaves. Like, I'm ready. Maybe you notice there's like a confusion of like, what do I want to let go of? I kind of like everything here. Or maybe there's this feeling of like, I want to let go, but I don't know how. And it's too much. I don't even know how to, that feels overwhelming to think about letting go. Whatever your experience is, let's just notice it with loving kindness, being curious as we observe this internal relationship to letting go. I was getting my nails done the other day and I looked up, and right on the wall at the salon, there was a picture canvas frame that said 7 steps to a happy life. And the first step that made me smile was let go. It said, let go of resentment, let go of control, let yourself live a happy life because those things will harm you. And it's so true because there's so many things that we store in our minds and our bodies that don't serve us, that were maybe stories of the past or coming from places of protection or beliefs or rumination of events that happened or regrets of what didn't happen or did happen. Either even strong emotions like anger or resentment or jealousy that we notice we're storing in the body. Just like our cultures become obsessed with detoxes and cleanses, like we think about all of the literal and figurative shit that is stored in our colons, in our intestines, in our digestive tract, and that's stored in all of the different cells and pockets of our body. It's so important to let go, to clear, so that we can make space for healthy renewal, for healthy regrowth, regeneration of our cells. We discussed on last week's episode around the overanalyzing mind. When we hold on to all of these different stories and repeating beliefs and ruminations, it increases our risk of anxiety, of depression. It creates stress hormones inside of our bodies. When we keep reliving unhealthy or unhappy experiences or thought patterns, our body doesn't know the difference of if it's happening in the present moment or is it just a story, a movie that is replaying in the mind. And so when our mind is caught in those thought loops, our body thinks it's still happening in present time. And so we can still have those same reactions, those same responses. This is why I'm such a big believer in introspection, in doing the work of self-development, of healing. Because when we bring mindfulness, when we bring this kind, curious, conscious attention to ourselves, to our lives, to our bodies, we gain information. And that information can be life-changing. And we don't do this work of healing, of introspection, of self-development because we're broken or something's wrong with us. But it's instead an invitation to live a more full, awake, present, alive life, one where we're really living from the here and the now versus all of the stories of the overanalyzing mind. Let me just say, this shit is not easy. Like, it is not easy to just say, oh, I see this repeating thought or storyline or belief. Let me just let it go. Let me just take it out of my brain and throw it into the trash. This shit is not that easy. In Buddhism, one of the core principles is that the mind is naturally going to want to cling to things. It's going to want to ruminate. It's going to have cravings. And when we try to hold on to all of that, it eventually leads to suffering and it leads to more suffering. A big part of the practice is learning how to bring mindfulness, bring this kind awareness, this kind curious awareness to our thoughts, to our relationship to things, so that we can set ourselves free from this default network of clinging, of ruminating, of holding on, and instead choose different actions that are going to support us living a content, happier life. Now, I know that in my own self-development, self-healing journey, there are still some deep beliefs that I'm working through around worthiness, around safety. And when I touch into these deep beliefs, I see that there's a protective quality there. That by me continuing to believe them on some certain level, my ego, different parts of me, when I believe them, it keeps me safe because it keeps me in the same cycle where life's more predictable, where I'm staying in a pattern that I know and that feels good to those parts, to those systems. However, there's other parts of me. There's my inner wise self, like my deep wisdom self that recognizes, oh, I'm being held back by certain beliefs here, and I'm really ready to let go. And so it's a practice in learning to work with some of these deeper beliefs or stories or ruminations to let them slowly unravel. Again, it's like a melting away, it's a dissolving of a story, and it can happen over time. Maybe for some, it happens if you touch into it, you can flip the script and be ready to let go of it. However, for most of us, it's a thawing, it's a rewiring, and that takes time and space. And just like the season of fall, it doesn't happen in one day. It happens over periods of months, right? We started talking about even sensing fall back in early August. And so it's an evolution, this letting go process. And I want you to really hear this because I think our minds and our egos and society says we want something, we want it to happen right now. We want this gone, snap of a fingers, let it be gone, right? We want something ordered, snap of a fingers, let it arrive to my house. We want that Amazon delivery in an hour, right? We want the Uber Eats to our house. So we have this on demand mentality that we then think works on us as a human. But that's not the case. In the self development and self healing journey, it is a process, it is a continual evolution. There's continues to be layers, just like onions, peeling back, going deeper and deeper and deeper. So as we explore letting go, I want you to give yourself grace, give yourself compassion for this evolution, this transformation that this season of life is calling in. I want you to know I am saying this to myself just as much as I am offering this to you because my New York mind wants what I want right now. It is impatient. It doesn't want to wait, but waiting is part of the game. And that's part of releasing the clinging, that letting go that just gets to even happen in our desire to let go. So I welcome you to pause here, grabbing a journal or sitting with yourself or walking with yourself and ask yourself, what am I ready to let go of? Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, or soulfully? What am I ready to let go of? And see how detailed you can get. So, for instance, you might say, I'm ready to let go of the stories, of the beliefs that hold me back or keep me small or keep me safe or protected from loving. But see if you can dig a little deeper and ask yourself, well, what are those stories? What are those beliefs? Try to really get down to those core nuggets. Maybe you notice a thought like, I should be further along in life. I should own a house. I should have kids. I should be married. Maybe there's a family member that you have some beef with, and there's a specific incident that happened or a conversation. And so it's replaying in your mind, and you notice deep emotions of resentment or anger or sadness that just keep arising, and you are ready to let that go. In a physical sense, it could be in your physical body, like where in your body do you want to let something go? Maybe you notice you're holding a lot of tension in your jaw or in your gut. Or maybe it's more in the physical object sense, like you're holding on to your mother's clothes, like I am. You're still holding on, and you're really ready to let those clothes go. You're really ready to finally release. So, what is it in that physical realm, in your body or in your physical things and stuff, are you ready to let go of? In a spiritual sense, maybe there's a feeling of you're ready to let go of controlling the outcome or controlling the timing of things. I know this is something I'm practicing, so I'm smiling as I say it. I've been really into squirrels. Always this time of year, I feel like I get so fascinated watching the squirrels as they prepare and as they're running around our yard and our trees, and I see them climbing over the telephone lines and running on our roof, digging in our garden to hide their food items. It's so interesting how the season invites us, and I think just as like animals, that we feel this need to hold on to so much, to store food, to store things, to accumulate things, to hold on to memories, because it creates a sense of imagined safety. Like the more that I hold on to so much, all of these stories, all these beliefs, all these clothing, all of this food, the more that I have, the safer I am. And it's hard to say that's not true because, having some things in your pantry for emergencies is really helpful and wise. Having enough clothing to keep you warm, to keep your needs met is wise. Having memories is lovely, right? It connects us to the sweetness of life. And yet, like everything in life, it's not just one thing. We can have too much of a good thing sometimes. And so the practice of letting go invites us to reflect inwards in our holistic being of what's no longer serving me, what's been expired, what items in my pantry, and I'm talking metaphorically here, are expired and no longer useful for me in the present or even in a case of an emergency. And so doing this kind of cleaning and clearing out can help us be lighter, more agile, more present, more clear-sighted to life as we interact with it. So let's get to the juicier items. I'm sure what you're wanting, these like tools of like how, okay, Wade, I hear you. I believe you. Yes, I'm ready to let go. And how do I do it? Right? We love the how. I'm going to offer some ways to play with this, but I also really invite you to listen to your own intuition and wisdom here, or your own